Part 157. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1561. Chapter 1561. Go back and wait for the notice. Of course, Chiao Mian had no props when she performed. So the sword she picked up from the clearing was air. This is also a place where acting skills are put to the test. If the performance is not good, it will appear more embarrassing. But Chiao Mian's performance was very natural. Even though she had nothing in her hand, it gave the impression that she was holding a sword. Father, mother, brother Shangguan, Yanner doesn't want to stay alone in this world. Forgive Yanner for being cowardly, Yanner misses you, and Yanner will go find you right now. Mom, brother Shangguan, come here Yanner. That invisible sword penetrated her heart. At that moment, Chiao Mian's face turned pale at a speed visible to the naked eye. It was as if there was a real sword thrust into her heart. She maintained the posture of inserting the sword and moved her body little by little. Although her face was extremely pale, a happy and satisfied smile appeared on the corner of her mouth. Mother, brother Shangguan, soon Yanner will be able to meet you. Soon. Finally, when Chiao Mian tilted her head to one side, closed her eyes, and became completely lifeless, that was when the performance ended. She finished her performance and the hall was very quiet. I didn't hear anyone talking. So much so that Chiao Mian maintained the dead posture for more than 10 seconds. Okay, the performance is over. The director was the first to react, looking at Chiao Mian who was still lying on the ground motionless, and nodded, with a look of satisfaction in his eyes. This newbie recommended by Qin Han is really good. The acting skills are much better than he imagined. When I first saw the person, I thought she was a bit too beautiful, so I didn't have much confidence in her. Generally in this industry, those who are too beautiful will have inferior acting skills. Because of his excellent appearance, it means it will be easier to get something. In this case, the actors themselves will not work too hard or take their profession too seriously. Perhaps he didn't have any expectations, so Chiao Mian's performance surprised the director. Especially the last paragraph. Without makeup, her face was as pale as if she had really lost a lot of blood. After hearing the director's voice, Chiao Mian finally opened her eyes and slowly got up from the ground. She raised her head and looked at the director, trying to tell whether he was satisfied or dissatisfied with her performance. However, the expression on the director's face didn't change at all. Chiao Mian couldn't tell at all whether he was satisfied or dissatisfied. Go back and wait for notification. The director didn't say anything else, just said this very official sentence. Chiao Mian's heart thumped, and she suddenly felt that there was no hope. Even though I didn't have much hope at the beginning, at this moment, I was still a little disappointed and sad. But she did her best. I just hope that Qin Han will not be disappointed in her. Chiao Mian herself was satisfied with the performance of the scene just now. Okay, director. Thank you, director, for giving me this opportunity. Chiao Mian was a little sad for a moment, but she quickly figured it out. I feel like it's okay if I didn't audition. The competition is originally very big this time, and there are many capable actors. It was a surprise that she was selected. It is normal if you are not selected. After thinking about it, Chiao Mian suddenly became enlightened and felt much more relaxed. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1562. Chapter 1562. It seems that you really appreciate this newcomer. Sister Shen. She waved to Shenfei before leaving. I'll see you again when I have the opportunity. Thank you, Sister Shen, for your encouragement before. Okay, see you later. Shenfei smiled. After a while, Chiao Mian left. Shenfei looked at the director with some confusion, Director Chang, I think she performed very well. What are you dissatisfied with? The performance just now cannot be said to be perfect. But for a newcomer, it's really good. Shenfei felt that it would be a pity if the director did not consider using the film just because of its reputation. She, like Qin Han, is a person who cherishes talents, so she couldn't bear to see Chiao Mian being passed. The performance is indeed good, the director nodded in recognition. Shenfei didn't understand even more. Then why did you? I didn't say we don't need her. The director looked at Shenfei and smiled. Why, it's the first time you've met her as a newcomer, and you're so interested in her? Is it because of Qin Han or something else? Reason? It has something to do with Qin Han, but not much. Shenfei also smiled and said honestly, I admire this little newcomer very much. Director Chang, we are all old acquaintances. Just tell me directly whether you need her or not. I think her acting skills are quite good. He is also very good looking, but his reputation is still lacking, but Director Chang's film will still be a hit even if it uses all new actors. Shenfei Yiyan smiled and said, Director Chang, what do you think? Ha ha ha. Director Chang laughed loudly. Shenfei, it seems that you really appreciate this newcomer. In order to let me use her, you actually flatter me. This is not your usual style. Director Chang, I'm not flattering you, I'm telling the truth. I'm just suggesting. Of course, the final decision is still in your hands. Do not worry. Cheng Dao said, if it is a material that can be made, I will not bury it. With Director Cheng's words, I feel relieved. Then the next step is my audition. Come on, it's not the first time I've worked with you. Why are you auditioning? Director Cheng waved his hand. Just go through the process, go back and wait for the contract signing. Shenfei said nothing more, nodded, and turned around to leave. Others have no opinion on this either. Shenfei's acting skills are obvious to all, not to mention this is not the first time they have collaborated. Some candidates have been determined long ago. Like Shenfei and others, they are just here to go through the motions. Wait for Shenfei to leave. The director did not let in the next group of actors to audition right away. He turned to the screenwriter and producer and said, what do you think of the young newcomer just now? The crying scene is great, very contagious. It can be seen that he really likes acting and is not just playing for fun. If you ask me for my opinion, I think it can be used. The screenwriter is a gold medal screenwriter in the industry, and he has a book in his hand to shoot. All the movies that came out were critical hits. Hence, he also has some power over the departure and retention of actors. Well, I think it can be used, the producer said. I heard from Qin Han that she is Bai Yisheng's cousin. I have to take care of Bai Yisheng's sister no matter what. The director nodded. Since you all think it can be used, let's leave a role for her. The screenwriter smiled. Director Chang, actually you made the decision before asking us. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1563. Chapter 1563. I immediately thought of the singer. Even if we say no, you will definitely insist on using it. A few people are part of a well-known iron triangle in the industry. It is a work partner and a friend. We have collaborated on many works and have known each other for several years, so we have some understanding of each other's habits. The director shrugged non-committally. Is it so obvious for me? It's not that you acted obviously, but that the newcomer performed so well. The screenwriter thought of the performance just now and immediately arranged a role for Chiao Mian. I think the role of singer is quite suitable for her. She has a charming personality. She was beautiful, talented, arrogant, and aloof. She was obviously a beautiful woman, but in the end she met a tragic end. Her performance just now made me think of the singer immediately. Singer, the director pondered for a moment. The movie this time is a large-scale ancient martial arts drama. The singer is the second female lead in the movie, and she is a character who ends in tragedy. Although the singer is not the number one female, she is still a very important role in the whole movie. There are a lot of shots. Furthermore, the personality of a singer is more malleable and challenging in all aspects than that of a leading lady. If you perform well, you will become famous in one battle. If the acting is not good, it will have an impact on the entire drama. The director himself never thought of giving such an important role to a newcomer. The newcomer's performance is indeed good, and he also feels that he should stay and give him a chance. But this is a movie with a lot of investment. Under normal circumstances, new people are rarely used, and even if they are used, they will not be allowed to play important roles. The director just wanted to give Xiao Mian a role that could show her face for a few minutes, such as the personal maid next to the female lead. Who knew that the screenwriter actually wanted Xiao Mian to play the role of a singer? The director is very aware of how picky the screenwriter is. She wrote the script herself, and she is even more cautious when selecting actors. She is willing to give the second female lead to the newcomer, which shows that she is really satisfied with the newcomer. The screenwriter has a lot of power in deciding whether the actor should stay or leave, and which role the actor should play. The director was silent for a while and did not express his opinion. He turned around and asked the producer's opinion. "Old Zhao, what do you think?" "I don't have any objections." The producer spread his hands and smiled happily. "I also think the little girl is good. She has good looks and acting skills. Except for her reputation, which is not up to standard, she is no worse than those old people. It's not like you've never used new people to play important roles, so what are you afraid of? I think this little girl can definitely bring us a lot of surprises." I didn't have any opinions even when I met with the producer. What other opinions could the director have? He thought for a while, nodded and said, "One of you will contribute the money, and the other will contribute the story. You have nothing to worry about, and I have nothing to worry about. Okay, then give her the role of the singer, and hope she will perform well. Don't let us down. This matter is settled like this. Asterisk. And the other side. Xiao Mian believed that she was 100% defeated. After thinking about it, she felt it was nothing. On the contrary, Linda was afraid that she would be sad. After leaving the hotel, she was still trying to persuade her. Mian, actually it doesn't mean anything if you are not selected today. It's great to be able to participate in such an audition. It's just like being nominated for a movie. Very few people win an award after being nominated for the first time, but being nominated is an affirmation in itself, isn't it?" End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1564. Chapter 1564. Sister, you must help me. Chinhan can recommend you to participate in such an audition, which is also an affirmation of your own strength. If you perform poorly and make him think you are bad, can he recommend you to come? You are still young, and there will be more opportunities in the future. I think it would be great to be able to mix the TV drama industry well now. As for the film industry, it's great to have someone who can help you get into it. Don't worry if you can't get in. Look at how many people want to get into that circle, and how many people have successfully gotten in. Xiao Mian couldn't help but smile after listening to Linda's consolation. "Sister Xia, you don't have to worry about me. I'm not sad about this matter now. There were so many seniors who auditioned today, and they are all very good seniors compared with them. I really have no advantage. It's to be expected that I wasn't selected." Linda looked at her. "Aren't you sad?" "There was a little bit at first, but I figured it out soon." Xiao Mian said truthfully, "If you are not selected, you will definitely feel disappointed. But in fact, After thinking clearly about my current strength, I am not satisfied with this result. I can accept it calmly. It's best if you think so. Linda looked at her again and saw that she was really not in a bad mood, so she didn't try to persuade her anymore. When your TV series comes out, you will have gained real popularity and popularity. Once you become a fan, your popularity will naturally increase. There is no TV series produced by Bai Yasheng that is not popular. Even if you cannot become a big hit with this TV series, it is okay to become a small hit. When the time comes, I'll sign some commercials and variety shows for you while it's hot, and it's not hopeless to get to the front line within this year. Linda was not worried at all about Jiao Mianmian's future as a star. With President Mo's powerful backing, why are you worried about being popular with her? Even someone like Jiao Angzhen, who doesn't have much strength, can be praised by Suzy. There is no reason why Jiao Mianmian is not as happy as Jiao Angzhen. Linda has already planned Jiao Mianmian's development route this year. Variety shows are very popular now, especially variety shows such as reality shows. Even some female artists without any works have become second tier after appearing on a few variety shows. So now all the major entertainment companies want their artists to appear on some variety shows with good ratings to maintain and increase their popularity. Linda's plan is to wait for Jiao Mianmian to finish filming the TV series and let her appear on a variety show. After all, even if Jiao Mianmian is not blackballed by the entire internet, overall the reputation is not very good. She can change netizens' negative impression of her by becoming fans on variety shows. Of course, these are the later arrangements. If Jiao Mianmian can become popular with this TV series, Linda won't need to worry about many things at all, and all kinds of good resources will automatically come to her door. Jiao Mianmian had no objection to Linda's arrangement. Anyway, after signing with an agent, the only thing she has to do is act well. As for the rest, it is naturally left to professionals to take care of, and she does not need to worry too much. Asterisk. Zhang family. Zhang Luo left for a visit to the police station. As soon as Zhang Hai saw her, he started crying. He held her hand and cried bitterly, "Sister, you must help me. Sister, I don't want to stay here anymore. Please help me and let me out." Zhang Luli looked at Zhang Hai, who was sitting opposite her, expressionlessly. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1565. Chapter 1565. Maybe you still have a glimmer of hope to get out. Zhang Hai looked haggard, pale, and had obvious dark circles under his eyes. It can be seen that he must not have slept well these days. That's right, it's strange that he can sleep well in a place like this. He is also his biological brother after all. The two had a close sibling relationship for a while when they were young. Seeing Zhang Hai like this, Zhang Luli didn't feel distressed at all. But despite being distressed, she still felt that Zhang Hai deserved it. Since you don't want to stay here, why didn't you think about this day when you took other people's money? Sister, I was wrong. Zhang Hai squeezed Zhang Luli's hand and cried bitterly, "I now know that I was wrong, and I will never dare to do it again. Please help me, please, I am you, my brother. You can't bear to see me locked in there all the time, can you?" Zhang Luli's face was expressionless, and he used some force on his hand to pull his hand out of Zhang Hai's palm. Zhang Hai was stunned for a moment, then looked at her in panic. "Sister. Xiao Hai, you are no longer a 3-year-old child. If you do something wrong, you must bear the consequences. You should know that what you owe is not 10,000 or 20,000. Do you think I can use 10 million to repay your debt? Sister. I came here today not to take you away. I can't take you away either. If you want to get out of here, it's best to tell me all the causes and consequences of the matter, without missing a word. Maybe you still have something to say. A glimmer of hope to get out." Zhang Luli was very angry about Zhang Hai. But after calming down, she felt that there was indeed something fishy about this matter. It's not like casinos don't use this method to trick others into gambling. But they only lend the money after they have inquired about the other party's net worth and ensured that the other party has the ability to repay. The person who lent Zhang Hai 10 million must have inquired about the Zhang family's situation. It would be abnormal if you lent money to Zhang Hai even though you knew the Zhang family. Zhang Hai has been pampered since he was a child and has never been detained like this. Hearing that there was hope of going out, he immediately told Zhang Luli everything that happened at that time. After finishing speaking, he pulled Zhang Luli's sleeves with tears in his eyes. "Sister, I told you everything. I promise that every word I said is true." He said at that time that he would definitely help me win money. Yes, I thought if I could win some money, it would improve our family's life. I can buy a big house and a nice car, and you won't have to worry about me anymore. Sister, I really didn't expect that I would. Okay, Zhang Luli raised his hand to interrupt him, frowning slightly. When everyone gambles, they only think that they will win, and never think that they will lose. You have been on many gambling sites before. I've eaten a lot, but you still haven't gained any memory. Don't say that you are thinking about the Zhang family. You are just too greedy and that's why you fell into the trap set by others. Even if the other party is deliberately trying to trick you, it's because you can't resist the temptation and fall for it. Looking at Zhang Hai crying, Zhang Luli sighed secretly in his heart. In fact, Zhang Hai's nature is not bad. When I was young, I was quite obedient and sensible. The reason why things are like this is because of the indulgence and doting of Jiang's father and Jiang's mother. In the past, when Zhang Luli lived at home, she would discipline Zhang Hai. Zhang Hai was also willing to listen to her sister and did not go too far. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1566. Chapter 1566, Never in your life can you raise your head and behave like a human being. Later, Zhang Luo left the city to attend high school and went to live on campus. After the siblings spent less and less time living together, Zhang Hai had no one to take care of him. Coupled with the doting of Jiang's father and Jiang's mother, Zhang Hai completely indulged himself and got together with the second-rate people outside. But now Zhang Hai is still willing to listen to Zhang Luli. In his eyes, Zhang Luli, his sister, treated him better than Jiang's father and Jiang's mother. Zhang Hai had never cried in front of Jiang's father and Jiang's mother, but in front of Zhang Luli, he burst into tears. "Sister, I know that you are the only one who is truly good to me. I was wrong, I really know that I was wrong. If I can get out this time, I will never make the same mistake again. Sister, it would have been great if you had always lived at home. I definitely wouldn't be like this. I hate my father and my mother. If it weren't for them, would I be like this?" Zhang Luli was silent. If she had not gone to study in the city, but had gone to high school in their county, maybe everything would have been different. It's just that there are so many maybes and ifs in the world. Asterisk. Come out of the police station. Father Zhang and Mother Zhang were waiting outside. When they saw Zhang Luli, they immediately stood up and walked towards her. Jiang's mother was the most excited. She grabbed Zhang Luli's hand and asked anxiously, "How's it going? What did you and Xiaohe say?" Zhang Luli looked at her calmly. "Mom, I can't let Xiaohe come out right now." When Jiang's mother heard this, she immediately became anxious. "Then what do you mean? Do you want to continue to let Xiaohe stay in? Xiaohe has never suffered much at home since he was a child. He has been in there for many days now. He looked thin and haggard. If he stays in there any longer, his body will definitely be unable to bear it." Zhang Luli pursed his lower lip. "It's not that I want him to stay in it, It's that I can't let him out. I just went to see Xiao Hai. He has lost a little weight, but he is still in good spirits. You don't have to be too nervous. Worry, he is not as fragile as you think. Zhang Luli, are you talking like a human being? Mother Zhang raised her hand and said angrily, that's your brother, and you actually said such inhuman words. What are you doing? Don't be impulsive. Father Zhang immediately grabbed her hand, this is outside, please control your temper. Besides, Ali didn't even say anything and left Xiao Hai alone. Hasn't she said it yet? She just doesn't want to care about Xiao Hai. Mother Jiang's face turned livid, and she gritted her teeth and said, anyway, I only have a son like Xiao Hai. If anything happens to Xiao Hai, I will die. When the time comes, I will die in front of you, Zhang Luli. I want everyone to know, you were unfaithful and unfilial and drove your own mother to death. You will never be able to raise your head and be a good person in your life. Jiang's mother had an expression of gnashing her teeth and filled with hatred, as if Zhang Luli was not her biological daughter, but an enemy with whom she had an sworn hatred. After listening to this, Zhang Luli still looked calm and walked directly past Mother Zhang. When she acted like this, Mother Zhang became even more angry. Jiang's mother wanted to rush over and continue scolding her, but Jiang's father stopped her. Why are you holding me back? You see, such a rebellious and unfilial daughter should not have been born. Anyway, if Xiaohe had something, I would not let her go. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1567. Chapter 1567. What kind of wind is this blowing? Ali is the only hope for our family now. Do you really want to make her angry before you give up? By then, no one will really be able to rescue Xiaohe. But you saw her attitude just now. Do you think she will save Xiaohe? If she didn't want to save her, she would have left long ago. Jiang's father was more sensible and analyzed the stakes for Jiang's mother. Don't you understand your own daughter? She has been a sharp-tongued person since she was a child. She and Xiao Hai, we've had a good relationship since childhood, there's no way she wouldn't save Xiao Hai. Mother Zhang listened for a while, her face gradually softened, but she still said with a sullen face, what if she doesn't save me? 10 million is not a small amount. Even if she really has the money, she may not be able to spend it all. Pay off Xiao Hai's debt. Father Zhang frowned and was about to speak when Mother Jiang's cell phone rang. Mother Zhang took out her mobile phone and saw that it was an unfamiliar number. After thinking about it, she accepted it. A minute later, Mother Jiang's face changed. She squeezed the phone tightly, and then a hint of joy appeared in her eyes. Asterisk. After Zhang Luli left the police station, she kept thinking about what Zhang Hai told her. Obviously, Zhang Hai was indeed tricked. But the person who tricked him didn't seem to be doing it for money. But to put Zhang Hai into debt, he sent Zhang Hai to the police station. However, who has such a big hatred against the Zhang family? It is necessary to set up such a situation to deal with Zhang Hai. Even the people who set up the situation are not at the same level as the Zhang family. Being able to spend 10 million to make a game is not something that ordinary people can do. Zhang Luli frowned and thought for a while, and suddenly thought of someone. Zhang Hai likes to hang out outside, but he has not made any big mistakes in these years, and the Zhang family has never had any enmity with anyone. If you have to say that the Zhang family has offended someone, it is that she has offended one person. After that negotiation, she refused Mrs. Mo's check. She could see that Mrs. Mo was very angry. But afterwards, Mrs. Mo never looked for her again. She has always felt unsettled in her heart, thinking that Mrs. Mo would never let it go. And what happened to Zhang Hai this time was so abnormal, it wouldn't be surprising if it was Mrs. Mo's handiwork. After the negotiation with her failed, We started targeting her family members. This is in line with the common method used by wealthy families to beat up Mandarin ducks. If MRSMO asks someone to do this, it would not be so easy to get Zhang Hai to come out. It is not a matter of paying back the money or not. Thinking of this, Zhang Luli felt a surge of anger in her heart. She clenched her fists, took out her mobile phone and dialed a number. The mobile phone number dialed was the one that MRSMO called her at that time. She didn't know if it was the number MRSMO used. After getting through, she waited for a while before the call was connected. Hello. A woman's voice came from the mobile phone. Zhang Luli bit her lip and tightened her fists. MRSMO, I am Zhang Luli. The voice coming from the mobile phone was MRSMO's. Miss Zhang, MRSMO was stunned for a few seconds and chuckled, what kind of wind is this blowing? Why did Miss Zhang call me? Is there anything that Miss Zhang wants to see me for? Zhang Luli didn't want to beat around the bush and ask directly in a cold voice, did you let someone do what happened to my brother? Miss Jiang's brother, MRSMO said in a very questioning tone, I don't quite understand what Miss Zhang is talking about. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1568. Chapter 1568. Apart from MRSMO, she can't think of anyone else. Zhang Luli took a deep breath. MRSMO, if you want me to leave your son by dealing with my family, then I want to tell you that your wishful thinking is wrong. My relationship with my family is not good. You set up a trap to arrest my brother. This has no impact on me at all. I think you should have inquired about my family in advance, and then you should also know what kind of person my brother is. You get him, I think it's good to go in. If you lock him up for a few years, maybe he will get better after he comes out. Ah, Miss Zhang. MRSMO smiled and said, Ms. Jiang's imagination is really rich. Do you think that you are too important? I was worried that you would affect Xixiu. I want to have a bright future, so I met you. But then I thought about it again, what do I have to worry about? Xixiu is just a novelty to you for a while. When the novelty wears off, he will naturally lose interest in you. Why do I need to be with you? Put some thought into it. Hearing what you said, something happened to your brother. MRSMO chuckled, that brother of yours is really worrying the family. What you just said is right. Maybe he will be locked up for a few years. It can be better. Zhang Luli lowered his face and hung up the phone with a bang. MRSMO said she had not done it. But Zhang Luli didn't believe it. Other than MRSMO, she could not think of anyone else. But if MRSMO did this, her purpose must be to separate her from Mo Shixiu. But on the phone just now, MRSMO said nothing. This made Zhang Luli think that maybe MRSMO didn't do this. Zhang Luli was worrying about this matter when he heard footsteps behind him. It was Jiang's mother and Jiang's father who came out. Mother Jiang's face no longer had the cold expression just now, and there was even a smile in her eyes, as if she had encountered some happy event. When she spoke to Zhang Luli again, her tone was much gentler. Ali, it was my fault just now. Mom shouldn't have lost her temper with you and been mean to you. Can you please forgive Mom? I'm too worried about your brother. Zhang Luli was stunned and looked at her in surprise. This should be the gentlest attitude Jiang's mother has had towards her in the past 2 days. I don't know what happened to Jiang's mother. Just now he seemed to hate her with all his heart. Ali, are you hungry? Can my mother cook for you when you get home? Make your favorite dish. Jiang's mother was stunned when she saw Zhang Luli looking at her expressionlessly without saying a word. He stepped forward and took one of her hands. Zhang Luli immediately freed his hand. She saw Mother Jiang's face stiffened for a moment. She took a step back, with a calm expression on her face. I'm not hungry, so don't bother. Mother Jiang's face was stiff for a few seconds, and her teeth were itching with hatred, but she smiled and said, "How can it be troublesome to cook for your daughter? I remember that you have loved to eat the spicy and sour fish I made since you were a child. I will go to the market to buy a fish when I get home later and cook it for you." Jiang's mother's attitude changed too quickly and was overly enthusiastic. Zhang Luli felt suspicious in his heart and stared at Jiang's mother again and again. "Why are you kids staring at me? You don't recognize me anymore." Mother Zhang felt a little guilty after being stared at, and her eyes flashed. "Nothing." Zhang Luli turned his gaze away, curled his lips, and sneered, "Mom, did you forget something?" End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1569. Chapter 1569. Forget it, I don't care anymore. What? The person who likes spicy and sour fish is Xiao Hai, not me. I have never liked this dish. After saying these words, Zhang Luli walked to a black car parked on the roadside, reached out and opened the door and got in the car. Mother Zhang stood where she was, her face turning blue and white. The person who likes spicy and sour fish is Zhang Hai? But why did she always remember it was Zhang Luli? Asterisk. After returning, Zhang Luli returned to his bedroom. She lay on the small bed, closed her eyes and thought about many things. At the beginning, she decided to ignore Zhang Hai. After all, Zhang Hai was solely to blame for everything. But after meeting Zhang Hai, she found that she still couldn't harden her heart and really didn't care about Zhang Hai. She remembered a lot of things from her childhood. At that time, Zhang Hai was really well behaved and obedient. He was always following her like a follower, shouting "sister" all the time. Just like how he held her hand in the police station before, crying for her sister, and begging her to save him out. Zhang Luli's heart suddenly softened. However, if she only owed 10 million, she could still find a way to pay it back. But if it was Mrs. Mo's method, even if she was willing to help Zhang Hai pay back the money, she would definitely not be able to do it. Zhang Luli thought about it and felt that this matter could only be solved by telling Mo Shixiu. She is Mrs. Nemo and there is nothing she can do. But Mo Shixiu must be able to find a way to get Zhang Hai out. Zhang Luli hesitated for a long time. Before he could decide whether to call Mo Shixiu, there was a knock on the door. Father Zhang was talking outside. "Ali, are you asleep?" Zhang Luli was silent for a few seconds, got out of bed, walked to the door and opened it. "Ali, your mother has prepared the meal, go down and eat." After Jiang's father finished speaking, seeing Zhang Luli standing at the door without moving, he sighed softly and advised, "Are you still angry with your mother? I've told her and she now knows what she did was wrong. She is just too worried about your brother." The words she said were unpleasant, but they were all out of urgency. "Dad, do you think those words are just unpleasant?" Zhang Luli smiled, but there was no smile in his eyes. Father Zhang was stunned. "Forget it, I don't care anymore." Zhang Luli smiled again, and said with a self-deprecating smile, "I will find a way to rescue Xiao Hai. But you and Mom both remember that this kind of thing will never happen again. Please don't call me again." It took several seconds for Father Zhang to react, with joy in his eyes. "Ali, can you save your brother?" "I don't know either, just do your best. If Mrs. Mo set up a trap for Zhang Hai to take the bait, then she is also responsible for this matter." Okay, do your best." Zhang Luli finally relented and was willing to help. Jiang's father naturally followed her no matter what. "Put your brother's affairs aside for now, and go down to eat quickly. Don't get hungry." Listening to Jiang's father's caring words, Zhang Luli didn't feel warm in his heart. "I didn't feel any so-called family affection at all. Because she knew very well that whether it was Jiang's father or Jiang's mother, their concern was all because of Zhang Hai. Everything is for Zhang Hai. Asterisk. An entertainment club. In the private room, there were fireworks. Several big-bellied men all held a beauty in their arms. Some were enjoying the food that the beauty brought to their mouths, and some were enjoying the wine that the beauty brought to their mouths. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1570. Chapter 1570, You don't understand the same thing. Boss Huang, come and have a drink. The woman dressed and charming looked at Boss Huang with charming eyes, put a glass of red wine to his mouth, and persuaded him to drink in a coquettish voice. Normally, Boss Huang would have already touched the woman in his arms. But tonight, he didn't seem interested in anything, and he didn't even look at the woman in his arms. He reached out and pushed away the red wine that the woman put to his lips, frowned, and pushed away the woman in his arms as well. The woman was stunned for a moment, and when she was pushed away, she looked at him in surprise and surprise. Boss Huang, what's wrong with you? After being stunned for a few seconds, the woman leaned over again with a sweet smile on her face, pretending to feed him wine. Boss Huang looked impatient and waved his hand to the woman, go away and don't bother me. Yo, Boss Huang. A man sitting on the sofa opposite looked up and joked with a strange expression, what's wrong with you today? You're not even interested in beauties. This is the first time I've seen her. Is it possible that because of the new beauty you acquired recently, other women have become vulgar in your eyes? Boss Huang got a new beauty recently, who is it? Why didn't I know? The one you know is a female star, she used to be Sushi Xiaodong's girlfriend. You mean this woman? There's nothing special about her, she's just that beautiful, how can she be so obsessed with our Boss Huang? You don't understand, it's not necessarily because of looks for men. As long as they are decent looking, it's the same when the lights are turned off. The most important thing is, ha ha ha, you know. This connotative sentence made a group of people laugh. Boss Huang was teased but remained silent. In the past, he also thought that women were all the same, as long as they looked pleasing to the eye and turned off the light. But now, the stunningly beautiful face and the figure that haunted him once again appeared in his mind. For the first time, Boss Huang felt that there was a big difference between whether he was beautiful or not. It is nonsense to say that the same thing happens when the lights are turned off. How can that be the same? This is the first time in his life that he has seen such a stunning beauty in the entertainment industry. All the vulgar powders he had played with before were not even half as elegant as the beauty. That stunning face, that skin as white as cream. If he can get such a beauty, even just once, he will have no regrets in this life. Ever since meeting that beauty, he has no interest in other women. Everyone looks at it and finds it boring. Even Xiao Angzhen was thrown aside by him. You don't understand anything, Boss Huang sighed, looked at the laughing crowd and said, when you meet such a beautiful woman, you will know what it means that in front of her, other women are vulgar powdered. Oh, a man laughed out loud, what kind of beauty did Boss Huang meet to bewitch you like this? If it were the female star who dated Sushi Xiaodong, there would be nothing wrong with her beauty, it's a place for people. It's not her, Boss Huang said and sighed again, it's her sister. Sister, are you saying that the beauty you met is the sister of that female star? Since you like it, just accept it. These men are used to having fun and are not short of money, so they feel that everything in this world can be solved with money. End of this chapter.